Magandang hapon po sa mga Torion and Bondok supporters.
Hello, magandang hapon, magandang hapon.
Meron po tayong bisita mula sa Davao, pero hindi na bisita to dahil mas madalas pa siya sa Manila kaysa sa akin. Diyan, buksan mo nga ito para may ilaw tayo. So, we are here to do a quick kamustahan with you guys because I know you are very curious about goings on sa committee on justice and all the complaints and cases filed against said proceedings. So baka may mga tanong po kayo at nandito po kaming dalawa para kausapin kayo. Pero mga 5 minutes lang to kasi we are on our way to some duties, no? And madami agad nanonood, brother. Bati ka muna, brother, at
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
siguradong namimiss ka na nila.
Oo nga, no? Oo, hello, good afternoon everyone. Magandang hapon, mayong hapon din na sa mga Bisaya. Mayong hapon, magandang hapon po sa mga Tagalog. At sa aking mga kapatid na Muslim, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon.
Kayo ba ay may mga... Marami kasi, brother, nung nag-live ako nung isang araw, maraming nagtanong kung bakit daw ba tayo panailapit sa Supreme Court para sa mga interests ni VP Sara. Tayo daw ba ay against accountability? Ang dami mga ganyan tanong. At ano raw ba talaga yung unconstitutional? Ano naman, in good faith naman yung questions nila. Ano daw ba yung mga parang alleged violations ba ng Committee on Justice that are tantamount to violations of the Constitution?
Una, i-answer muna natin yung allegation kung for accountability ba talaga tayo.
Siyempre.
Siyempre, we are for accountability. It is just that the accountability mechanism should be in accordance with the 1987 Constitution. We should not use the mechanism for accountability as an instrument of injustice, such that we should not use it to politicize the process.
Yes.
Kasi ang nangyayari kasi ngayon, hindi naman accountability ito, brother. Political persecution ang
Demolition job ang
demolition
term
job
nila.
ito. Kasi yung mga grounds lang nila, paulit-ulit yung kuha report. Alam naman ng mga law students yan, alam nila na yung mga notice of disallowance, hindi yan final. Meron ngang notice of disallowance, believe nga ako sa iyo, partner, na-research mo pa yung kay former President Noynoy Aquino
Oo, tsaka sa Dare to Ask kasi magaling na page ang Dare to Ask. Although it was some stock
Kaibigan
knowledge.
ko yan, brother.
Magaling yan.
Kaibigan ko yan, matalino yan.
Magaling talaga.
Yung Dare to Ask na nasa likod niyan. 400 plus million yun, hindi nga na may notice of disallowance, pending pa hanggang ngayon. Patay na nga si former President Aquino
Pati si Secretary De Lima noong araw sa DOJ, may mga unliquidated pang mga allegedly, ito ay reports lang ng press. So, sabihin, hindi naman yung tantamount to culpable violation of the Constitution.
Yeah, precisely. And besides, it is still very premature because if you note, even under COA rules, there is a rule that if even on appeal, yun, on appeal naman yun, sa COA Central naman yun. If there is a finding na pa lang talaga, may basis talaga yung notice of disallowance, you can still file a motion for reconsideration within 30 days. And we even smell something fishy with the issuance of the, we will not cast aspersion insofar as COA is concerned. Pero brother, ang bilis naman na rule yung appeal, brother. Few days lang, 2 days ata, 2 days before the hearing.
Sumakto sa hearing.
Oo, sumakto sa hearing.
Palagay mo ba hinabol yung hearing? Mahirap ang salta.
Oo nga, mahirap ang salta. But we are not born yesterday. So, yun nga. Pero, would that be enough to crucify the Vice President? No, because she is still allowed under the law to file a motion for reconsideration within 30 days.
Tapos may appeal pa na 180 days. Tama?
Yes. Tapos, after that, pwede pa siyang umakyat sa Supreme Court via Rule 64.
Oo. Certiorari.
Oo, so hindi talaga hindi pa final yung finding na yan.
Ano ang comment mo dun sa isang Batikan na abogado na ang sinabi niya, final na daw ang COA finding na yan dahil wala ng Rule 41 to 45 na available. Sabi niya, wala ng ordinary remedy. Instead, extraordinary remedy na lang daw ang available.
No,
Parang mali, no?
Parang mali yun kasi administratively, pwede pa siya maka-MR. Baka nakalimutan niya na
May MR pa.
may MR pa. So hindi pa yun final. Yung sinasabi nila na what you call this, may punto if you want to be technical about it. Okay, mag-law school tayo.
Yeah, sige.
Ayun.
Kailangan
Sabi, they want to be former Commissioner Guanzon was wrong because there is still a remedy of appeal. Well, perhaps sa tingin ko lang dun para maintindihan lang ng mga tao na pwede pa iakyat.
Huwag na natin gamitin yung technical word of appeal.
Yun.
Yes.
Kasi Rule 64 kasi, tama naman siya.
Hindi appeal yun
Hindi appeal yun
certiorari yun
So, okay, correct ka. But that does not mean that it is already, executory.
Correct. Hindi pa.
Sige, magpa-bright po ta deribe. Pero, would that be enough to, what you call this, say that, Vice President Sara Duterte is corrupt? No.
And she is already liable to return daw. Hindi pa naman yata. Kasi nga, siya na rin na nagsabi na pag nag-rule 64 ka in relation to 65, pwedeng mag-issue ang Supreme Court ng, TRO.
Yes. Magpa-bright tayo. Rule 65, Section 7 yan. Di ba? Kung meron yan, wala. Pending lahat. Kaya nga premature yan, pare. Premature. And if you will read also the allegations there, they do not contain any ultimate facts which would constitute the crime of graft and corruption, bribery.
Walang ultimate facts.
facts.
Puro procedural lapses yung pinag-uusapan.
Tapos yung magpa-bright din tayo kasi bright sila. So Committee Resolution 111 when they dismissed the case against President Marcos. Sabi nila nito doon the allegations do not contain ultimate facts which would constitute the crimes of graft and corruption, bribery. Kung yun ang yun ang basis nila
standard nila doon.
Standard doon. Dapat i-apply dito. That's what we learned in law school, the Equal Protection Laws of the 1987 Constitution.
Article 3, Section 1.
Yes, what is good for the gander should be good for the goose.
Sauce for the gander is sauce for the goose.
Yes, so yun sana. Wag na tayong atik-atik pa kung sa Bisaya pa.
Atik-atik.
Ang klaro naman yan. Politika lang yan, brother. Politika. Masyado nilang, they arm the impeachment process into a political tool. So
they weaponized it.
They weaponized it so that they can, leave imprints into the good reputation of VP Sara Duterte.
And to somehow chip away at her strong ratings.
Yung parang makuha-kuhaan yung pagkabangon niya masyado ngayon sa ating mga kababayan. Pero yung mga kababayan naman natin ay alam naman nila kung
alam naman.
Yung ang iba dyan, laki-laki na nga ng mga notice of disallowance. Naku, nakakatakot.
Hindi naman sila ini-impeach.
Hindi naman sila
mga impeachable officers din naman sila. Yung iba sa kanila.
Grabe nga. Doon nga sa Department of Agriculture, brother, ang laki ng amount ng notice of disallowance.
Yan. Although hindi impeachable officer yan, pero plunderable naman. Di ba, nagpapa-bright na rin lang tayo. Meron pa akong isang contribution, brother, yung Arias Doctrine, no? Sinasabi dyan sa case ni Arias na kung sakali mang may mali na ginawa, kasi ang doctrine dyan yung reliance in good faith, no?
Yes.
Si Vice President relied in good faith sa work ng kanyang staff sa pag-liquidate, and kung nag-commit man sila ng errors in good faith, no? Hindi naman kasalanan ng pumirma sa taas yan. Hindi yan attributable because she relied in good faith in the regularity, in the performance of duties of her staff. Arias Doctrine yan. So, ang dami pang safeguard bago maging attributable to Sara yung guilt. no?
Yan nga ang ipaintindi natin, no? Masyado na kasi tayo ngayong politicized in the sense that the political opponents, those who are perceived to be against VP Sara, are doing anything and everything just to pin her down, no?
Oo.
So sana naman makita nila na bago tayo maghahanap ng muta sa ibang sa mata ni VP Sara, tingnan muna nila yung mga sarili nila. Ang lalaki ng mga muta nila, brother, mas malaki pa sa chipit.
Actually, ano na sila, brother, anak ng muta eh.
may kanta niyan, brother.
Oo.
Anak ng muta naman kayo.
Tapon dito. Pwede na yata tayo gumawa talaga ng TV show, brother. Usapin mo nga yung SMNI na yan.
Oo, di ba? Kantahan natin. Anak ng muta naman kayo. Tapon doon, tapon dito.
Nailinaw po namin sa inyo, and this is how we are speaking really in honesty and in good faith, that the Vice President, aliado syempre namin yan, pero regardless of that, what we're defending is the Constitution. No, hindi po yung si VP Sara lang. Kasi may mali pong nangyayari talaga sa House ngayon. Nagiging spectacle, no? Nagiging public spectacle, tas parang public shaming. Kasi brother, ako ang kinaiinisan ko talaga yung Madriaga testimony.
Grabe yun, brother. Violation kasi, talaga, grabe.
Etong akin, brother, ha? Given na si Madriaga baliw eh. No? Sige na, baliw na siya. Pero should not the House have stopped him, no, in the middle of giving unrelated, immaterial, irrelevant testimony?
It was designed really to attack not only VP Sara but also Tatay Digong, who is no longer an impeachable officer.
It has nothing to do with, halimbawa, pag pinag-uusapan yung confidential funds ng DepEd, hindi dapat yan pinag-uusapan. Because
dapat
hindi naman
cut off kaagad
yan.
Kasi that's not germane to the purposes of this impeachment proceeding.
Sa VP pwede, pag VP of OVP, okay. Ngayon, pag pinag-uusapan halimbawa yung ginawa niya doon sa kanyang campaign, hindi rin pwede yun. Kasi hindi naman siya Vice President.
Not germane to the purposes of the impeachment proceeding.
Pag pinag-usapan yung ginawa ni Pulong daw at ni Baste, di umano. Not germane.
Not germane.
Okay.
We will not discuss that. That's irrelevant, immaterial to this proceeding.
Correct.
Sana yun.
Pero bakit walang umawat? Samantalang si Chairman Luisto promised that siya ay isa-stop niya yung mga probing questions kapag nagiging out of line, pinangako niya. Pero si Madriaga walang umawat.
Wala, brother.
They just let him
saka,
speak.
The most important point there, brother, is this. If you will read the third complaint as well as the fourth complaint, the allegations of Madriaga, as a matter, he was only, he was only quoted in one of the complaints Tapos attachment lang siya. Okay. The matters that were raised in the supplemental affidavit were entirely new matters.
Wala nang kinalaman.
New matters also. And
which were not furnished kay
VP Sara.
Ayan.
And it came out 2 days before the hearing.
Paano pang mapaaral niya ng mga abogado?
Kaya nga, brother, ang aking tingin doon, it violates the basic requirement in any hearing
of due process.
Due process. Fairness, brother. Fairness.
The sporting idea of fair play.
Yes. Diba? Because how can the respondent answer when she was not even furnished a copy of the supplemental complaint? How can you determine that a complaint is sufficient in form and substance when the matters being discussed during the actual hearing are matters which are foreign to the complaint? Original complaint. Bago yun, brother.
Hindi siya binigyan
Hindi binigyan. Tapos, it was as if yung matters na tackle nila in the supplemental complaint were already part of the records when it is not. 2 days before lang yun.
Correct.
mali yun.
Tsaka sa mga nagpipiloso po dyan, brother, sasabihin nila, paano bang sasagot si VP Sara? Hindi naman siya nag-a-attend.
Hindi yun
ang point.
brother.
Hindi yun ang point.
Ang punto nun, yung mga supplemental complaint kasi, no, should have been raised at the time of the filing of the impeachment complaint.
Correct. Para alam nga ng kampo ni VP Sara kung sasagutin pa.
Oo,
Kasi
hindi.
if you remember, ang basis naman ng kanilang non-attendance is walay pulos. Walang kwenta. Ba't kami pupunta? Puro generic statements naman itong mga ina-allege ninyo.
Oo.
Had you been that specific at the inception of this impeachment, malay mo baka nag-attend si Sara.
Tama.
Hindi mo yan maaalis sa kanya. Kung nakita niya na meron talagang Madriaga testimony na kasing detailed as it is already now, or the COA findings that are as detailed as they are already now, malay mo umattend siya.
Kunyari, brother, papailan ako ng kaso, brother. Sasabihin nila, ang kaso mo, ano ang kaso? Mas pangit pa ka kaysa kay Aga Mulak.
Oy.
Tapos, ang pugi-pugi ni Aga Mulak. Tapos pag trial na, brother, sasabihin na lang baka, hindi pala.
Murder pala.
Hindi, brother. Ang sasabihin nila, mas pangit ka kaysa kay Jimmy Bundok. Ay, hindi po pwede yun, brother.
Hindi pwede.
Hindi po pwede, brother.
Ano
Talo talaga ako sa iyo, brother.
Ay, hindi, brother. Ano yun? Kumbaga, swindling yun. Article 315. Oo.
Sabi yun, brother. Hindi man lang natin alam beforehand yung mga allegations contained in the supplemental affidavit.
Yes.
Paano ka, during the hearing, they already discussed about the supplemental affidavit and never about the original affidavit. Anong klaseng hearing yan? I thought the hearing, pursuant to the rules, Rule 3, Section 7, would be to elicit only matters for clarification.
Correct.
What is there to clarify when the supplemental complaint is a new matter?
Oo. Walang clarification.
Walang clarification. It was designed to pin down the respondent unfairly.
So do you think that there is enough basis for the Supreme Court to intervene, brother? That's too hard to answer.
Yeah,
no?
that's too hard to answer.
Being
We will
lawyers,
not preempt kasi ang isa pa niyan, nag-file pa naman tayo, 'di ba? Nag-file tayo ng manifestation with Breyer kahapon.
But I think, brother, that we can be candid at least in our hopes. That we hope kasi look, I was watching the oral arguments kanina sa Supreme Court, and I must say ang daming nabuhayan ng loob, brother. Because Justice Leonen did an excellent, admirable job, brother, no? I think many people have been discrediting him recently. Gusto raw siyang impeach. That kung ano-ano na.
Grabe, nakakasuka na yung magpapa-impeach. Saka alam naman natin kung anong purpose doon.
Oo. Pero when he was discussing kanina the IUAs, yung mga unprogrammed appropriations, he was very objective, he was very respectful, he was not grilling the resource persons, no, not even the OSG, Ma'am Berberabe, pero he was eliciting very objective facts. So in short, to shorten my point, it looks like that our Supreme Court is strongly in place.
Yes, and si Justice Leonen, brother, dating dean yan, nagkaabot pa kami niyan. Dean yan dati yung UP.
Yes.
Objective talaga yan siya.
Yes.
Of course, pagkamalan siya noon na yellow siya kasi ang nag-appoint niya si pero if you will study his decisions, brother,
yes.
napaka-objective niya.
Yes.
Saka yung mga questions niya kanina, grabe. Brother, it was really designed to ferry out the truth. So that the people can be properly guided and that the truth can be, secured, makita talaga kung anong dapat at hopefully may desisyon sila na tama para sa ating bansa.
Alam mo, maganda pa kay Justice Leonen yung mga tanong niya kanina. Hindi mo halata na meron siya palang ipo-point out or i-reveal na inconsistencies doon sa halimbawa certification sa Bureau of Treasury, yung mga ganyan, or the increasing of the appropriations recommended by the President, nilalakihan ng Congress, is very good, no?
Yeah.
So, given in that light, brother, siguro may small chance tayo dyan sa
Sana.
prayer natin, no?
I'm hoping and praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that somehow we will be given that chance by the Supreme Court.
Oo.
Na mananalo tayo kasi kung i-objectively assess mo medyo lumampas na talaga sa kanilang boundaries yung Committee on Justice.
Oo.
So abangan natin ang susunod na kabanata kasi may naano pala ako, brother, may narinig ako na may nag-file na naman kanina ng intervention doon sa kaso
nakita
natin.
ko yung anong pangalan yan?
Yung law firm. Tsaka meron na naman ngayong hapon, brother.
Meron pa, hindi ko pa nabalitaan yan.
Iba itong mag-intervene ngayong hapon, brother. Mga indigenous peoples ito sa Caraga region. Mga IPs.
Region 13, ano? Caraga.
Caraga region.
Caraga.
Mga Manubo. They would
Mga
want to
Manubo.
participate in the proceedings by quoting Republic Act 8371.
Okay.
Kasi they feel that as members of the IPs, they should also intervene in the petition before the Supreme Court kasi hindi na daw nila naiintindihan. Hindi na naiintindihan bakit ginaganyan daw si VP Sara. Binoto nila, part daw sila doon sa more than 32 million na nagtiwala kay VP Sara.
And they don't want to be disenfranchised.
They don't want to be disenfranchised. Yung mga IPs, titingnan natin yan kung totoo ba yung balita na nahagilap ko at ipa-file daw nila yung petition for intervention nila ngayong araw na ito.
Ito pa, brother, mayroong kuminsan may mga iba nag-a-accuse na tayo daw ang nagpapakawala ng mga nag-i-intervene. Wala kaming kinalaman dun sa yung kanina Digusman ba?
Yung kanina.
Yung kanina, yung sa
tapos
mga IPs. You know, the only reason why there are intervenors is because this is a common cause among all taxpayers.
Yes.
No? Kasi lahat sila nakikita nila na parang hindi na umaandar ang gobyerno natin. Puro impeachment na lang.
Pasalamatan natin sila, brother.
Ay, oo.
Pasalamatan natin sila kasi
Sobra,
pinapataba nila yung atay natin.
Yes. Tsaka,
Na tayo daw ang nasa ulo nito lahat.
oo, napakataas po ng pagtingin nyo sa amin. Salamat po.
Salamat,
Ang galing
salamat
pala
po.
natin mag-organize. Ano?
Na ikumbinsihin natin sila na
Oo.
mag-intervene.
Samantalang yung mga lawyers din, may sariling mga law practice, may sariling reputation, may sariling IBP roll number. That
Saka
are at stake.
matatalino yan, brother.
Oo.
Matatalino yan at nag-iisip yan.
Magpapautos ba sa atin yung mga yan?
Hindi. Wala naman tayong moral ascendancy over them.
Walang moral ascendancy. Dalawang M ang wala tayo. Wala tayong moral ascendancy, tsaka wala tayong maleta.
Meron pang maleta dyan, brother.
Meron ako, pero wala laman.
Kaya nga, no? But, objectively and seriously, maybe these persons, these lawyers, the IPs likewise, have decided to really intervene because they see something graphically wrong with the proceedings before the Committee on Justice. At saka, kung tingnan mo rin kasi, saan ka makakita, brother? Na yung endorser ng impeachment complaint, sila pa yung mga maiingay doon. And note that they are the ones tasked by the 1987 Constitution and by their own rules to determine whether or not there is probable cause. The endorser of the complaint would now be part also of the persons who will determine probable cause. Parang may mali dyan, brother.
Parang ikaw ang nag-file, ikaw na rin ang
Ikaw na rin ang judge.
Oo.
You are the judge, jury, and
executioner.
executioner. Yan, parang mali yan. Hindi siguro nakita nila yan dahil saka atat sila na i-impeach si BP Sara. Pero tayo nakita natin yan. Kaya dumulog tayo doon sa Korte Suprema.
Do you think, brother, na kasi mayroong issue about the 10-3-60 rule, no? Sa Constitution, di ba? Merong 10 days, 3 days, tas 60 days. Yung 60 days ang pinag-uusapan, no? Doon sa Article 11, Section 3, number 2 yata yan. Yung pag-initiate, no? So, ang sabi ni Chairman Luis Tro, yung 60 days daw ay session days na dinidiscuss nila yung impeachment. Hindi sabi ko, Aabot ng 1 taon yun.
Grabe.
Now, si Justice Ascuna naman, were quick to point out na hindi ganun yun. If Congress is in session, whether you discuss the impeachment or hindi, you have 60 days. Which is obviously the correct interpretation.
Brother, nakikita ko yan yung we should look at the motivation. Why would they
It
do that?
betrays their motivation na gusto nilang patagalin ito until they get the desired ratings, numbers, dissatisfaction and all that, no?
So that the people would really be annoyed at the Vice President.
Or at
they
least
would-
to plant seeds of doubt.
Yun,
Yan, no?
na magiging mananalo sila na why would you run away from accountability? May mga punto nga tayo. This is not about accountability. We are showing that they have exceeded the boundaries of their constitutional duties and responsibilities. So yun ang pinopoint out natin.
Okay, so bago po kami magpaalam, kami po ay bumabati lang sa inyo mula sa table. Table po tawag namin sa Torreon and Bondoc Law. Table.
Yun.
No? Dahil kami po, lahat kami, over the table po lahat ng pinag-uusapan namin. Wala pong under the table.
Yun.
Kaya gagawa kami ng legal show.
Ayun.
The table.
The table. Oh,
The table.
Ang lamesa.
Ang lamesa. Ang lamesa ni Bobet. No, but we are glad that you still listen to us and that you come to us for advice. We want you to know that we also learn from you and from your perspectives. And wala pong bibitaw sa ating common goal of just simply upholding the Constitution and preparing for a brighter future para sa bansa natin.
Yes. We should never lose hope because this is the only country given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should do anything and everything to make it a better country. The best country as a matter of fact.
Ang next nating episode, ang suggestion kong topic, brother, pag-usapan natin yung pinayagan nila na ang Amerikano ay magkaroon ng 4,000 acre na economic zone dito sa Pilipinas,
Nako.
implementing US laws and immunizing
Grabe yun.
the US personnel from Philippine jurisdiction. Hanep! Grabe!
Extension of sovereignty.
Oo. Kahit ang embassy, hindi ganun ka lalim ang immunity and independence.
Oo nga, may mga principle of extraterritoriality as
Oo.
opposed to extraterritoriality.
Oo, iba yun.
Nandun na sa kanila lahat.
Nasa kanila lang. Ex tsaka extra.
Oo.
Grabe. Baka extra service meron din dun. Kaya po, sa susunod, yan ang ating tatalakayin sa susunod na episode ng The Table. Ha? The
Ayos,
Table, maganda, ha?
ayos.
The Table. Magandang araw po and God bless you all and always remember to remain calm even during the darkest of times. Mabuhay po.
Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Maraming salamat.